Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Monday Live at Proper Football with a bit of a flashy new bit of the. Do you like that, Nige?
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, look.
Okay, just before we introduce you all, just remind everybody that get involved with the comments and everything else. Just drop them on. We pick them up here. And if anything you want us to discuss, comments on what we are discussing, then crack on. If you're not watching this live, then don't, because we won't see them. Okay, how are we going to kick this off? Right, how you been, Nigel? Obviously, we didn't come on last week through technical issues. My end, how you been?
Yeah, I've been okay. I had a good weekend. A few of the Mitch Cloud group came up to Stafford for a night out, so good weather, good football.
Oh, the weather's been brilliant, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
all gone grey again now, though, isn't it? But yeah, right. Tom, how have you been? It's been such a long time since I see you.
Yeah, it's almost been a full day, mate. Wow.
I know.
You must be missing me.
Colton Town, didn't we, on Saturday?
We did. Yeah, but like weather-wise, mate, beautiful, wasn't it? And it can be as grey as it likes Monday to Friday, as long as the sun comes out for football Saturdays, mate. I'm all good.
No, absolutely. Yeah, what a lovely few days we've had, and that's all going to change again now. It's going to be back frosty mornings and grey today, an awful grey day, and I can't wait for this winter to be gone. Been so damp and grey and yucky in it this winter. But right, okay. What are we at next? So I think what I'll do, I'm going to open up with, obviously, guys. Obviously, Stuart Pearce, he had a heart attack on a plane. They've had to divert the plane. He's now in hospital in the right places. But at the end of the day, I just wanted us to sort of say a big shout out and our thoughts going out to him and his family for a get well soon. Nigel, you've played against Stuart on a number of occasions. One of the hardest men you've played against?
Oh, without a doubt. I've had a few heart attacks playing against him. I remember when he played for Coventry and he was just raw from Wilston. He had come out of Wilston to Coventry. And, you know, when you got your back to him, it's like hearing a ball run up behind you. You can feel the ground rumble. And so you're sort of half expecting to get clattered anyway. So you're preparing yourself for it. But he was one of them players that, you know, whatever went on the pitch, he'd have a drink with me in the bar afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it used to be back in the day. So, yeah, I wish Stuart all the best and speedy recovery. And my thoughts go out to his family. I know they're all behind him and probably everybody in the Football League that's played against him, played with him, trained with him, they're there with him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The coincidence, obviously, this weekend was that obviously Nottingham Forest are playing Manchester City. We'll touch on that a little bit later on. Obviously, both clubs, fans, obviously got a lot of memories of him. And at the City Ground on Saturday, both Man City and Forest supporters gave him a standing ovation and a tribute. As you can see there, the scarf. Stuart Pearce, MBE, Forest legend, Psycho, and Nigel will bear that out.
I think that's too nice a word for him, but it's worse than that.
Worse than that. No,
I was lucky, you see, because when I moved to Derby, I played on the left wing, so Ted McMean was getting kicked all the time when he was at Derby. So yeah, I managed to escape Stuart in them days.
Brilliant. No, all our thoughts and prayers with a speedy recovery, Stuart Pearce. Tom, anything you want to say on that matter?
Yeah, no, just echoing your boys' comments, to be fair as well. My sort of memories of Stuart Pearce are obviously a bit later down the line than yourselves. No disrespect, not bringing up the age thing again, believe me.
Yes, you are.
No, nothing like that.
Yes, you
But yeah,
are.
obviously
Yes,
remember
you
him
are.
just a complete like maverick, absolute madman. Just yeah, and he deserved the standing ovation that he got there because he was a great servant to both clubs. And we were up in the Nottinghamshire area, weren't we? And you could just feel it around the place that everybody is with him and behind him in the local area. So
I mean, he was the sort of player that used to lift the crowd, though. You know, when he went in for a tackle and it was a hard tackle, and he put the right winger in row 7, like, you know,
yeah,
and the crowd loved it, you know, and that was the sort of player he was, and that's why
and he was a lot better. He was a lot better technically than what people give him credit for as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you know, like I said, going from his early days, and then obviously hitting the clubs like Forest and Man City and England. You know, I mean, when he took that second penalty for England after he'd missed the one previously, I mean, all the passion come out of him in about 10 seconds when when that ball hits the net.
Yeah, that proper mad like fist bump.
Yeah, that's how he played.
Yeah.
He played every game like that. But then afterwards in the lounge, players' lounge, he'd be the first to have a drink with you. So yeah.
No, brilliant. It's good to hear some stories. Let's while we're on the subject of there we go, Gareth Williams. Looking forward to meeting you, Gareth, on non-league day down at Merthyr. We'll touch on that again a little bit later as well. Excellent defender. Wish Stuart speedy recovery. Absolutely. What we got in store today. So we are going to be looking at. We're going to be talking a little bit about VAR. I know Nigel wants to bring up something reference the debacle that was last week, 9-minute delay because of the VAR issues. We're going to be touching on the situation with the Millwall keeper. I believe he's been getting death threats, but we'll touch on that as well. Liverpool. As Nigel said to me just before the show, any team that can take a battering like Liverpool did against Paris Saint-Germain and still win with only one shot on target, and that was the goal. It's their season. We'll touch on that. Arsenal absolutely stomping it in Europe, maybe not so much in the league. We're going to have a little bit of a delve into National League South and North. We've now got 10 games left. Both are looking really exciting at the top there. So we will be touching and having a little bit of a look at the National League North and South. What else are we going to be doing? Well, anything else that comes up. If you've got anything you want to add, people, please do so. Just drop a line in the comments and we'll pick them up. So... I will. While we're on the subject of age, being Tom has been quite aged towards me and Nigel,
you shouldn't be so old then.
Me and Tom, we were down at Carlton Town on Saturday. Fantastic day as always. Fantastic club, Carlton Town. But I just got to show you this. This is something I picked up, and I mean these are museum pieces, but. I noticed the turnstile's amazing. Now, I think Boats is watching actually. I'd love to know a bit more about these turnstiles. But have a look at these. These must be from like post-war. But have a look. Proper old-fashioned turnstile. But even more interesting was this is the bit on the top. So it's Ellison's. Well, I can't read it all because it's all a bit worn out there. But the interesting thing, obviously made in Manchester, I wonder if they were ever at Old Trafford. I'm going to have to talk to Boatsy about this. Have a look at the counter. 92,348, I think that's saying. Nearly 1 million people have gone through that turnstile. Unbelievable. Now, considering they're at Carlton Town, at some point in their lives, they must have been somewhere else.
What did you say, guys? 92,000?
Sorry?
92,000, did you say?
Oh, was it 92?
92,000, so nearly 100,000.
Oh, mate, I've read that wrong, I. Tom, always the leveller, thank you for pointing that out. 92,000 people been through that turnstile.
It's still a hefty number.
Yeah, like, no, a bit more, but yeah, a bit of nostalgia there. And then obviously we're talking about Piercy. I just want to bring up. Obviously, we lost Denis Law a few weeks ago, and a mural has gone up in Aberdeen, which is that one there, amazing on the side of the tower block. And yeah, there you go. And on Saturday, I managed to nick a little bit of time with Ian Storey-Moore, who was one of Denis Law's teammates for a while, and he had this to say about Denis. Let's just see. Here we go. It's just a little snippet of an interview I've done with Ian on Saturday. You'll be able to see the whole interview when we release the article on Thursday. And I'm just going to quickly touch. Obviously, you had a period of time at Manchester United.
I did, yes.
Did you play with the late Denis Law?
I did play with Denis.
So we lost Denis only a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
now.
The funny thing was somebody sent me a photo there. Myself, when I signed that day, myself, Denis Law, and George Best. A lovely photo I've got there.
Right.
So I was just thinking, I can't get them to sign it now. Of course, they've both passed away, of course.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's a wonderful privilege actually to be on the same pitch as them, really, Gary, because they were some of the icons of British football, weren't they?
Absolutely,
really wonderful players and fantastic players actually. So yeah, it was an absolute privilege to play with them.
Yeah, the rest of there you go. So yeah, football royalty there. He's been on our show and he'll be coming on again. That was a great.
That's funny because I was going to say it's funny because Ian's story going on about the picture that he had taken with George Best and Denis Law. Yeah. I done a night with Lou Macari, and I was questioning him and how he ended up at Man United, and he said Jock Stein sent him down to see Liverpool. And he'd had talks with Liverpool to sign for him. And right at the last minute, he got a phone call from Manchester United. Matt Busby, I think, wanted him to go to Man United. And he was more or less shaking on the deal with Liverpool. But he said, I couldn't resist the lure of being able to play with George Best, Bobby Charlton and Denis Law. And he said, I ended up signing for Man United. So yeah, when you think of Law, Best, and Charlton, they're iconic in Man United's history. Three superstars.
Yeah, and Ian had a lovely chat with him. You'll be able to see the full interview on our article. And yeah, do you know what? I've got to say, he's one of the nicest guys in football. And Tom, you met him on Saturday. We're going to get him back on the show because it was great when he was on before you and. Nigel, you and him got on so well as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you met him on Saturday, didn't you, Tom?
Yeah, I did, and yeah, first thing that went through what a lovely, genuine bloke. He's played at the very, very top level with some absolutely top players, and he was a top player himself. So just to speak to him and just be in his presence was a real privilege, and to listen to him. But yeah, just can't stress enough how much of a lovely man he was. And
I would say he's one of the nicest guys in football. I really would. Amazing.
Huge respect.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. But as you could see on the video, I was getting the badging. I had me Prop Football t-shirt on, and look, guys and girls, if you want one, you just drop us a thing. We've not got many. We did a little run on pin badges. Don't know if you can see that. There you go. We ain't got many. But yeah, if you want one, let us know. I think they're not cheap actually, but they are really good quality ones actually. But yeah, we've got some. I think we're doing them £4 and then £1.50 postage and packaging. I think maybe a deal on 2. I don't know. Dan will let us know. But yeah, so if you fancy a football pin badge, just drop us a message and we'll take it from there. Okay, cool. So yeah, just quickly touch on again. We was at Carlton Town versus North Ferriby on Saturday. Tom, you had a great day. What a lovely club Carlton Town is, and the North Ferriby fans were fantastic, weren't they, as well?
Yeah, top draw, mate. Top draw. Yeah, I think there was a good few. Well, for the level, I think the chap that I was speaking to said there was 30 of them that travelled. When you're bearing in mind they're coming up right, sort of just to the northeast of Hull, That's a fair old distance that they travelled, mate. So yeah, it was a really good number. Really good
There
number.
was as many flags as there was people in the ground, I think.
Yeah, I think
No.
I think it was
Guy
Bring a
just
Flag
turned
Day
up with a
for
massive bag of
yeah.
flags, and
It was like Bring a Flag Day for the North Ferriby fans. I think that was mandatory.
Yeah.
If you want to get on the bus, you've got to have
Again,
your
I've
own
got some
flag.
cracking photos of their flags. They got some really odd flags, and again, yeah, keep an eye out for our thing on that. Let's just say hello to who's on making the comments. So Clarkey, as I've just put up there, by the way, them turnstiles were donated by Leicestershire. They weren't nothing to do with football. So it was Leicestershire County Cricket Club that donated them. So fair play. But mate, they're proper old, didn't they? Would you know how old they are? But they are proper old. I just love a bit of nostalgia, you know. But it's one thing, they are older than me, so made me feel better. Hello to Nick Paul. Obviously, Gareth Williams already on. Just a reminder, everybody, please get involved, drop your comments, and we'll pick up on them. Okay. Let's, Nigel, I'm going to hand over to you, mate. Have a chat about VAR with us. Come on, my favourite subject.
Oh yeah, it's raised its ugly head again, isn't it? Like I said, you know, VAR when it came out was meant to sort problems out quick. You know, it could prove whether it's over the line, not over the line. But you know, we had this debacle last week where it took 9 minutes to come to a decision, and you know, that's just ridiculous. When they're putting technology in that's meant to sort things out quickly, and you know, you're watching players doing a little mini warm up because it's taking that long. But they've got to sort it out.
What were they trialing something new? I'll be honest, I've not really paid that much attention to it because I love VAR and I love the Premier League, as you all know. So I didn't pay that much attention.
I think,
but was there trialing something slightly different that didn't work?
It's an auto offside thing.
So, that was it.
So that sort of makes the decision without having to go to the camera.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying out. But
the semi-automated offside, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
But I don't know what took them so long because when they kept showing the replays, you know, you sit there watching it at home, you can see what the decision's going to be. But they took so long over it. You know, like when it gets to the point where you're seeing players doing a little warm up just to keep themselves moving because it's been stopped that long. Absolutely
that's pretty
ridiculous.
mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Pretty mad. Yeah, VAR. Just keep it in the Premier League. We don't want to see it anywhere else. Let's see what comments we got about VAR. Yeah. Let's have a look. What we got. Gareth Williams. VAR was brought in for clear and obvious mistakes. 9 minutes is neither. Not a fan anyway. Throw it in the bin.
Exactly.
Nick Paul, VAR for me personally has slowed the game down. Now that is a really interesting statement, gentlemen. I'd like to get your opinion on this because the one thing that they keep banging on about is speeding the game up, less ball out of play, you know, more play time. And I think he's quite right because it has slowed the game down. Is that counteracting what they're trying to achieve?
Well, it is. I mean, if you look at the 9 minutes that it's taken them to come, say the team is well on top of the other team and they've got the momentum going, and all of a sudden you stop the game for 9 minutes, so they lose the momentum, and you know that can go against you. That's why you're seeing these players doing a little warm up just to keep themselves moving. Because if one team's got the momentum, the other that team, say like 1-0 down and haven't got the momentum, they're quite happy with a 9 minute break. It's like when you go in at half time, sometimes you've had a great 45 minutes, but the second half becomes hard work. So really, if you're doing that well in the first half, you don't want half time.
No, got you.
So, you know, for me, again, like, don't throw VAR completely out, but it should be there for whether the ball was over the line, penalty decisions, you know, clear-cut decisions that need sorting out that are important. But I know Arsene Wenger's now trying to get this pixel offside rule banned again and going back to like you've got to be pretty more well and truly offside before they call you back. But it's getting out of hand now, totally out of hand.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, gentlemen, I've just for some reason we're not streaming on X, which is unfortunate because we get a lot of people, and I don't know why it's not. No reason for it not to be, but it's certainly not streaming. Okay, so if you're watching on X, you're obviously not. So yeah, apologies for anyone who is having to switch over to one of the other platforms. That's disappointing. I need to look into that. Okay, here we go, Nigel. Question for you. As an ex-pro, Nigel, how would you have liked VAR in your playing days?
I would have hated it. I'd probably put up with it in this day and age because of the wages they're getting. But yeah, but no, I'd have hated it, mate. I probably would have been sent up a few times for arguing with the ref, and just yeah. Right, so it's just sport the game. Like I said, they brought it out to improve the game, but they've tried to dissect it too much now. It's just gone stupid. I mean, as soon as they brought pixels in, like that's come on, just use it for what it needs to be used for.
Yeah, gentlemen, I'm going to give you another subject. I'm trying to get a link over to X because people are missing out. The bloody X, it can be an absolute. You have to pay money to get it to be able to show it on there in the first place. You used to be able to stream it for free. Now we have to pay to stream it. Bloody ridiculous. And now we can't even get it to stream on there for some reason. I'm going to flick a link over. So, guys, I'm going to bring up another subject now. And those that are watching, please get involved in this conversation as well, if you would. So, we obviously last week in the Cup, Millwall, Crystal Palace, local derby. And believe it or not, Palace's main derby rivalry is Millwall as opposed to Brighton, like everyone thinks it is. It's actually Millwall. This is a major derby. Now, what we did see was kung fu karate kick or not. I know, Nigel, you've got a view on it and you've listened to some of the professional views. Tom, I'm sure you have. Gentlemen, please take it away while I try and sort out this problem on X.
Well, I'll let Tom go first.
Himself, the fella himself, obviously, Liam Roberts. Obviously, I know him. Well, I say I know him. He played for the Cobblers for a couple of seasons, a few seasons back. We took him from Walsall, and we actually got promoted up to League One with him in goal. And I never saw anything like that from him. He never gave me any kind of inclination that he was that type of player that would go in maliciously and deliberately try and hurt somebody. So when I saw it, I was really, really surprised. Really, really surprised. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it was a horrendous tackle. And I suppose it is difficult for me to sit here and say that there wasn't any malice in it, but just knowing the player, knowing the individual, it would really, really surprise me if he went in there to hurt somebody. It would really, really surprise me.
Well, I listened to Joe Hart on Ref Watch, and they were asking him what his thoughts about it was, and he said, yes, his boot was very high, but once he'd committed himself to it, he's actually got to the ball first, but his momentum's taken him straight into the player. And with his boot being that high, it's a dangerous tackle. But he's saying the same thing as you, that he doesn't think there's any malice in it. He said football's a quick game. You react to certain situations, and the momentum of him coming out, he's thinking, I'm going to get to the ball first. But his momentum's taking him straight into the guy, and he's taking him out. So, there's two sides of the story. I think he had to be sent off. I think the extra ban they've given him's right, but he's also been getting death threats and from people sending nasty messages. I mean, I don't think any player really sets out to hurt someone badly. Yeah, you want to rattle them, you want to give them a little prod, you want to go in hard on a tackle and give them, make them hurt a little bit, but they don't want to take it that far. So,
No, I agree with that. I think barring a few examples that we've seen over the years, I would agree with that fully. And as I say, momentum in football, when you're going at it full throttle, you get that rush of blood to the head and you want to go and win that ball. Once you're committed, there's no way of pulling out. And it was sort of, it was a coming together more than anything else for me. Yeah, his boot was high. It's against the laws of the game. The sending off was right. The extension of the ban was right. because it was a horrible, horrible tackle. When you commit fully like that, how do you possibly pull out once you're in? It's impossible.
See,
The death threats and all the rest of it. I think we see that often enough in football now. You don't need to do anything bad to get that. I think it's just terrible.
Go back to the World Cup. I remember they called it the Schumacher, don't they? Schumacher come out and poleaxed the geezer. But
yeah,
I can't remember that far back. But did he get sent out for anything for that? Because I'm sure he still played the game out, didn't he? And yeah, he's actually poleaxed the guy the same way. So it just shows you how the law of the game has changed from back in the World Cup days when Schumacher was in goal and he's taken the player out as to how it is now, you know. The laws of the game have completely changed since back then, and that just shows you how much messing about they're doing with the game. And you know, where was that quote? Football's an easy game. Don't make it hard. Where's that gone?
Yeah. Fair enough. But Liam Roberts, like I say, he's really well thought of at the Cobblers. Really high. We all speak really, really highly of him. I don't think he's got that in him. It would shock me massively.
And don't forget, like the players were wound up for that match. Like you say, it's a massive derby. So you know when you play in derbies, I'm telling you now, the adrenaline's going quicker than it normally goes when you're playing. You get excited about playing matches and winning matches, but when you're playing in derbies, your adrenaline's running high, and you know tensions are up there. So sometimes you react differently on certain situations. So I think he's got what he's deserved. He's got banned, a lengthy ban. He got sent off, which was the right decision. But as for getting threats and stuff like, leave it alone on that.
Fully agree.
Yeah, I wonder what it is with Crystal Palace and Kung Fu karate kicks, eh?
They are Darren Ashley. The ref,
they've been having over the years, haven't they? Now
there's been a few in there, eh?
There you go, Gaz. The ref gave a goal kick to West Germany after Schumacher nearly killed Battiston. So he did. It looks like he didn't even get booked for that.
Yeah, nearly
long old time ago. That.
Wow. Have you seen it?
Dad? No, I don't think. I probably have.
Google it.
But...
No. YouTube it when you get off this.
I'm gonna.
It's probably worse. It's probably worse than the Crystal Palace one. Apart from the fact that the guy didn't have loads of stitches in his head.
Yeah. What's your tipple tonight there then, mate?
I'm just having a carding.
I've
had a hard day, believe it or not.
You got ice in that, Nige?
Yeah.
In a beer?
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Oh my God.
No, listen, there's a story behind this, right? I worked in Corfu for the best part of 25 years DJing. And believe me, in July and August, even at night, it's hot. And some of the discos you work in ain't putting the aircon on as much as they want because they think if you're hotter, you'll drink more. And so I used to hold my glass. I'm not big. I don't take large swigs. I used to hold on to my glass and have a little swig, hold on to it. Well, as soon as I've held on to it for about 5 minutes, it's gone warm. So I can't drink warm beer. So I told them to stick some ice in it.
No. You're not in Corfu now, mate.
Yeah, but I still like the ice.
All right, look. Let's before we move on to the non-league scene, we're running well for time. We're going to wrap it up hopefully within another 15 minutes, which is what we want to try and achieve where we can. So let's touch on Liverpool. Obviously, Nigel, before the show, we were talking about the Paris Saint-Germain game and just how on earth did they win that game. So 1-0, they won it with the only shot they had on target. And I think 29 shots from PSG, 10 of them on target, dominated the game. Your comment to me, which I'd like you to elaborate on, was if Liverpool play like that, the game goes the same way, you think Liverpool will go out?
Yeah, I think, I'm Paris Saint-Germain. How they never scored, I don't know. I mean, I watched it over and over again, and it's when the things are going your way like this for Liverpool this year. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've had a great season, but them sort of games are the games that you end up winning when you shouldn't do. But I honestly believe if it's the same game at Anfield as it was at Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool will go out because they can't play like that again. That's got to be a better performance from them at home. But if Paris Saint-Germain are that dominant, I can't see it being a 1-0 again. I think, they could cause a shock. So any Liverpool fans won't agree with me on that, but that's just the way I see it,
And gentlemen, is it fair to say? Well, it is fair to say, isn't it? The league's over. They've won it, haven't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely,
Yeah,
they deserve it. They've been consistent,
Yeah, they have.
They've kept, they've been disciplined. The players have kept the standards up, and I think the manager's come in and done a great job. I think he's set his standards. You don't fall behind. He went on about the fact that they never turned up for the first 45 minutes. And he likes his energy. He likes his players to commit fully, and his interviews are always good. I like listening to the guy. Actually, he's good.
Just quickly, shout out Darren, who couldn't get on with us tonight, but he's watching. Hello to Mark from Nuneaton Town. Had another win. I know Darren was down with you at the weekend, Mark. You must be getting close to champions now, mustn't you? But look forward to seeing that. Okay, Arsenal. So they go and beat PSV Eindhoven on their own manner. Was it 6-7-1?
7-1.
7-1, wasn't it? But then they come back, and for again a side, they just seem to bottle it, don't they? They always seem to slip up draws, and no good drawing when you're fighting. I mean, they ain't going to get the title now, But Forest hot on their heels.
I don't think anybody was going to get the title, to be honest. Like, it's just the gap's too big now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that is, yeah. Did Arsenal bottle it again? Would that be a fair assumption to say? Do you think they bottled it again?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we can say that. I just think Liverpool have been far more consistent.
Yeah, definitely.
They've just been the better side on a continuous.
I mean, in all fairness, you've got to be consistent to win the Premier League, haven't you? You've got to be consistent to win any league.
Yeah. It was two seasons ago where Arsenal bottled it when they were 8 points clear.
Have they really?
No. Arsenal, if you want to look at when Arsenal bottled it, that was 2 seasons ago when they were 8 points clear, and then obviously they ended up losing the league by about 10 points to City. Yeah. When you're in control of something and then you don't win it, that's bottling it. But they've never been in control of this.
No.
Of the title this year. They've always been part of that chasing pack. They'll finish second or third Champions League football again for them, and I think
massive result though, wasn't it? 7-1 up at PSV.
Yeah, PSV. But one thing I didn't like, so I don't pay close attention to Champions League, but I did watch that one just for the highlights, just for the sheer amount of goals, and the defending was nothing short of shambolic. Don't get me wrong, take nothing away from Arsenal, but the defending for some of the goals, my God.
No, interesting. Again, like many people are tuning in. If you've had to move over from normally watching it on X, apologies. I really don't know what the problem is with X. But if you've managed to get over, great. If not, we're going to be we'll put the show up on X anyway after. But yeah, join in if you want to make a comment. Please make a comment, people. That's what we want, not just about us. It's also about you. Okay, we are now going to touch on non-league, Nigel's favourite part of the show.
Thank God. Thank God.
Right, so obviously, yeah, we were at Colville Saturday, aren't we, against West Bridgford?
Yeah.
Obviously, just want to reiterate, non-league day coming up, people. And we've put some links up as well. Where you can get a game. It's a national break, so there's no league football as such, or no Premier League, no Championship, and a few in lower league being called off. Proper football, we're splitting up a little bit. We're off to Merthyr Town and Great Yarmouth. I know Dan's been promised a guided tour of the oldest wooden grandstand or stand in the world, I believe. So yeah, we're going to get a guided tour of that. I'm really looking forward to going to Merthyr, and I know there's a few people in Wales who follow us are going to come along to the game. Gareth Williams is one of them who's watching tonight. I know Alan Jones probably going to pop along as well. He said he's going to come say hello. Hopefully, we'll see a few faces and or get to see a few faces and put them to the names. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Everyone, try and get out non-league day, support your local clubs. We the non-league people have put up a game finder, which I think the link, if you go onto our Facebook page, you'll see it. Okay, let us today focus. We'll focus on the two sides that we're going to next week for non-league day. Their leagues. Murph are doing very, very well. They're in a major battle with Totton to see who goes up into National League. I'm guessing South. But anyway, talking of that, let's have a look at the National League North and South. So 10 games left to go. Let's have a look at this one. So this is the National League North as it stands. Brackley Town, Darren, that's one of your local sides. I know you've been there a few times. Topping the table there with Scunthorpe in second. Chester in third. Not a lot of points separating people there. So there's the battle there. Some big names in that league when you think about it being the second tier. If we look at that top 8, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of that top 8 have been league sides, which is Scunthorpe, Chester, Kidderminster Harriers and Hereford in that thing. But so 10 games left to go. Brackley at the top there. Consistently good little side, Brackley, to be fair. Scunthorpe, obviously one of the big boys in that league. That's a tight battle between first and second there, isn't it? Both on 36, 1 point in it. We'll keep a close eye on that. That is National League North and National League South. So, unfortunately, Dan was due to go to Aveley versus Worthing tonight, and he's had to call that off now. That's a shame. And then we've got Dorking Wanderers there with the flamboyant Mark White. Again, take a look at that league. How tight is that? So you've got, from the top, 71 points, second 70, third 70, fourth 69, fifth 68, sixth 67. Bloody hell, that's a tight old league.
It's almost like a carbon copy of the National League North table that we just looked at there, isn't it?
This is tighter. I think there's more sides. Because if you look at North, you've got that
pretty much same, isn't it?
And then Chester sitting there with 67. So, like, there's a 3 point separating the top 3. You look at this one, you've got 4 points separating the top 6.
Yeah. There's not so much of a battle going on in the
how many go up
itself, though, is there?
Sorry,
Nigel, this is one of the problems I think the non-league clubs are saying. One of the problems that they face is only one side gets an automatic promotion, and then the rest have to battle off in a really strange playoff method. Which, if you come second, I always get this wrong, so I might stand to be corrected here. If you're second, you automatically go through to the final, and then the rest of the sides play off. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's two leagues. Yeah. There's 2 leagues to finish second in, though. So how do they work that one out?
There's what? Sorry.
So you're saying only one team that finishes second gets to the final? Because there's going to be
playoffs. There's playoffs per league.
They play off just in that one league, so only one team gets automatic promotion, and then they have a playoff. So it's 2 sides. 2 sides from the league goes up. Now, I know non-league are pushing now to say they want, which has been chucked out, because obviously your League 2 sides wouldn't want it, and they voted against it. But they're pushing for there to be a 3 up, 3 down, and then that would cascade down through the rest of the non-league pyramid. Whereas at the minute it's just one up, and then some crazy playoffs set up, which I've never understood. But yeah, that's what they're pushing for. What do you think? Should it be 3 up, 3 down, and have it more regimented like the rest of the? I know it's 4 in between League 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, I don't think it would work. The further down the pyramid that you go, because when you go down to the National League North and South, obviously it's 2 teams promoted from each of those leagues, so that's 4 going up. So 4 have to be relegated from the National League, and then the 2, which are split between the North and the South.
Yeah.
If you come up to sort of league level, again, I don't see how it works, because obviously 2 go down and 2 come up at the moment. It would make it disproportionate when you drop further down, having an odd number up and an odd number going down, if that makes sense.
No, they're after having it like 3 up, 3 down, all the way through the pyramid.
But how do you do that when you get to North and South level? Because it's 2 leagues.
Oh, sorry.
You can't have one
yeah.
team from South and 2 from North, because then it's not a level playing field, is it?
No, that's right.
How would you do it? You wouldn't be able to do it all the way through the system. You could only do it at league level. You couldn't do it any further down than that, because the leagues become regional.
Geographical split.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to have to be 2 and 2. Now. So that's got to be 4.
Because that's why you get a lot of problems with sides. For instance, Bishop Stortford play in National League North, which you would think they'd be playing in National League South. But because if you've got 4 Southern teams come down, then it's like, I know.
But look at the disadvantage that gives them straight away. Look at the mileage they're going to be travelling when they're going away from home, and also teams going to them.
Yeah,
I understand it. I understand it, because you have to keep the numbers proportionate, and it has to be an even split. But there's definitely a flaw there, definitely.
Yeah, there is, and it doesn't work very well, does it? Because, like you say, like I know with Merthyr, who was I speaking to? Corn are 20 points clear in their league. They're a bit like Macclesfield, and they'll go up into. And this not just National League. So Corn, I was talking to their guy, and he was saying they know they've got promotion. They're running away more than Liverpool. So they've got promotion, and they're currently in Northern Premier Midland Division. They will then go up in either Northern Premier or the Southern League, right? So the Kettring's League or the league, which is Macclesfield's in at the moment, where Leek and that are. So they don't know, and they won't know, because until they know who's relegated, will determine whether they're in North or South. But he was saying that for them, the South is cost effectively so much better for them than the North.
I can see why that is. Yeah, Leicestershire, aren't they? So
But yeah, I mean, even with Kettering, so Kettering obviously were looking a bit dead cert earlier in the season. They're not now. They lost again on Saturday, which has opened up that league, which we'll have a look at maybe next week. That's wide open now. Kettering have dropped off a little bit and opened it up for everyone, really, which is good, competitive. But I was talking to them, and again, they don't know whether they would be in the North or the South. And that's everyone's got that problem all the time. But you're right, the costs involved to a non-league club, if they're putting the wrong one. Obviously, we was at Carlton on Saturday. Now, that happened to them. They did. I did have a conversation Saturday with them, in that they're hoping maybe that they will get reassigned into the Midland League again. They're in the East League. And mate, they got forced out of the Midland League because of that very problem of the ups and downs, and that added, I think, about 11 grand on their bill for travel. But it isn't just about the cost of the travel, and I'm sure Nigel will understand this. It's also, these are part-time players. You imagine on Tuesday night they got to play in Newcastle. you know, a lot of the players can't do that. You know, so they struggle with then getting availability for players with so much travelling.
Yeah, the North Ferriby fans that I was
anyway.
speaking to, bearing in mind obviously that's up near Hull, obviously Carlton Town, Nottinghamshire. They were telling me that's not the longest trip that they have to do. I think it said it was about third on the list of, so that there's further that they've got to go.
There is a couple of other sides that, yeah. So I would imagine.
They did tell me. They did
got
tell
a really
me.
lovely ground. I can't think who it is now. Belper, maybe someone like that. Might not be them now, but yeah, there is a couple of sides. It'd be a bit longer. It won't be much longer than Colton, because I know Colton don't go anywhere south really. They go across a little bit into Leicestershire. Other than that, they don't. So I would imagine, yeah, for North Ferriby, that would be a longer journey if they've got to go further to the east, to the west,
possibly.
even. Yeah. What was Gareth saying there? Sorry, more exciting than the Premier League. Looking how tight these National League divisions are. They are very tight. Yeah, all of them.
The National League itself isn't so tight, is it though?
You know, other than a couple, Macclesfield, the Runaway, that's down to money. Corn, I'm due to go there on the 5th of April. Be really interesting to understand their setup and how they've become so successful. 20 points clear. I don't know if you see that earlier, gentlemen. The second place get a week off in the playoffs when teams play. The team that finishes higher is always at home.
That's the play that you saying about the playoff setup that we were debating a moment ago. None of us were actually quite sure, were we? Darren's just clarifying those things.
Hello, Louise Robbins. I think you're first time on here, so nice to have you on board. And then we got same with Gloucester City last season, relegated from National League North, are now playing in the Southern League.
It's complicated, isn't it? It's
it's confusing, isn't it?
Gloucester, southwest. So, well, I suppose if you're going north, you're just going straight up the M5, aren't you? As opposed to coming across into Christ knows.
Well, it's like we say, Merthyr Town. You know, very very strong contenders for going up into the National League. But will they go in north or south? They currently play in the Southern League.
You geographically, you would hope that they'd be in the National League South, wouldn't you? Really?
Oh, they are. They're currently playing Southern League South, but could end up having to go into the National League North.
There'll be some long old trips there if they get like a Gateshead or somebody in their league. It's a long way.
You win your league in a Southern division, get promoted into a Northern division. But again, like you say, I don't suppose there's a way around it, is there? Other than everything has to be national, and that is even worse.
Then you got a 48
team
league
financially.
Yeah, so it's all like, you know, success means longer travels. Playing, you know, I think the higher you get, the more sort of the wider the travelling becomes, and like I said,
the money isn't there for the players to justify that level of travel. How can they do it?
No, but that's what happens, isn't it?
Yep, gentlemen, we've done 50 minutes, so I'm going to call it a day. I've got to get up stupidly early in the morning. Never mind, that's the way it is. Can't blame myself, mate. I'm going to give you your last words. Let's start with Tom.
Yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody at Carlton Town for making us feel so welcome over the weekend. It was a really, really successful trip, really great trip. And a big shout out to my boys, Northampton Town, 2-1 away winners at Leyton Orient, who are doing really well in League One at the minute. So to go there and get a result was brilliant. And Kevin Nolan's got us. He's got us playing. He's got us feeling good again. So yeah. Up the cobblers, and hopefully we see a few more of them. And look forward to meeting everybody at Colton Town this coming Saturday as well.
Excellent. Tom talking cobblers there. So
Always.
Yeah. I actually looked out for that Northampton result. It was a great result. I just got to
Good
mention.
man.
Me personally, I thought Derby were done and dusted. Just mentioning football clubs, but he played against his old team on Saturday, didn't he? Against Blackburn, and he stoked them up. They've actually got a hard road ahead of them, but they've given themselves a little bit of a chance of staying up now. But I think Watford have blown it.
It's gonna be quite interesting to see how that develops.
I mean, Cardiff have been drawn into it, and Stoke are down there, and then like going back about 8 to 10 weeks, when we was talking about there'll be one team that comes out of the pack and wins about 8 in a row and gets into them playoffs. Coventry, they're right up there now, aren't they? Frank Lampard.
Yeah, he's got him playing, isn't he?
Yeah, Damo's just playing.
Coventry tomorrow. So I mean, Coventry just came from nowhere. They're the one team. They're fifth now, I think.
Do you think Lampard's coming of age?
I mean, maybe he's got players in that side that can play the style of football he wants to play. Because we talked about it before, didn't we? Like, it's all very well having Rooney played under the best managers, Alex Ferguson and Lampard, and trying to give to that team what you've learned off their managers. But if you haven't got the players that can play to that system, then it don't work. So maybe Frank's gone into a squad of players there that he's not playing well, and they're playing to his system. So
it's what Nolan's done with us.
Yeah. We always said that there'd be one team that comes out of it, put together a run, get into the playoffs, and I think that's going to be Coventry.
Yeah. No. Excellent. Nick Paul there, on our way back to League Two. That's Paul Crawley Town. Unlucky, Nick. Never mind. Bless. From me then, as always, please have a lovely week. Enjoy. If you're at football during the week, enjoy it. And I hope your side gets the result you want. I'm looking forward to joining Tom at Colville, and I'm looking forward. I think we're going to be sticking with the Monday night for the rest of the season now. So I look forward to getting together on Monday, and we'll see if we can get a guest. So we were going to get a guest on today, Cardiff supporter, funny enough, but I failed to make the call. But never mind. We'll see. I will get a guest on next week, and we'll go from there. Maybe we can get the chairman of Colville on next week. We'll have a word with him Saturday. We'll see. All right. Wonderful. Everyone, have a lovely, lovely week. It is going to get a little bit colder, possibly a little bit wetter, but we've had a taste of the sunshine and we loved it. So roll on the summer. And here we go. Never ready. Never, ever ready, am I? Anyway. Where are we? I've lost the plot. Right. Bye all.